to 70 again for Saturday and Sunday. So it was a 10 to 15 degree drop in temperatures yesterday, about a 20-degree rise in temperatures coming by Saturday. So we're about to go back and forth here with these temperatures. We'll talk about it coming up in the 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Wes. Well, we're not quite there yet, but as we were either lamenting or celebrating earlier in the show, daylight saving time begins just around the corner. So we got to get to March 1st, which is knocking on our doorstep tomorrow, but daylight saving time actually begins on Sunday, March 10th. So not this weekend, but the next weekend. So you have time to give yourself a nice long nap this upcoming weekend before you lose an hour next weekend. So remember, when we have daylight saving, that's when we're springing forward. So we are setting our clocks ahead 1 hour. And if we look at the sunrise on daylight saving time when it begins next Sunday, it will be at 7:03. And then the sun, this is the best part. This is what everyone's happy about. Will be setting at 6:52, just before 7 o'clock. But as far as tonight, when is that sunrise sunset as we're heading towards the weekend? Well, it does look like at least for tomorrow, we'll be seeing the sun rising at 6:16 and then the sun setting at 5:43 for tomorrow. But the best part is the days are getting longer, so we only have to wait a little bit longer before that sun is setting just before 7 o'clock. So we're about 10 days away from that. But as we continue to talk about the science behind the time change, how can that affect our mood? Our Lauren Harkson spoke with an expert on the effects it can have on people.
We see a lot of adverse outcomes, even with that acute change. So changes in mood, increased risk for heart attack and stroke, even with this shift into daylight saving time.
The time change is coming, and S. Justin Thomas with UAB Psychiatry Department says it brings health risks.
Anytime we either lose sleep or we're not sleeping when our body wants us to sleep, it has a variety of outcomes. It can affect our ability to think, concentrate. It can affect our mood, maybe an increased risk of depression, anxiety, etc.
Even more car crashes tend to happen after a time change. Thomas says simply going to bed earlier might not be the solution.
Light suppresses our natural melatonin release. And so if we expose ourselves to light before we're trying to go to bed, whether that be through electronics or, home lighting, it tends to suppress melatonin and makes it harder to fall asleep. So I think being mindful of light and making sure you're kind of in a dimly lit environment in the hour leading up to bed can be helpful.
Which is a big reason Thomas says more light at the end of the day isn't always a good thing. While some lawmakers are pushing for permanent daylight saving time, Thomas says the sleep community is pushing for the opposite.
Most scientific evidence suggests that permanent standard time, the lighting that we experience, is actually more in line with our body's normal rhythms. We've tried the permanent daylight saving time and eliminated it after less than a year because it was so bad.
Another busy night, too, for Alabama power linemen in West Alabama. This is an update on the story we brought you yesterday. A lineman explained the dangers of strong winds bringing down power lines. Well, last night, Alabama Power says it had 1,400 customers without power scattered about in West Alabama. 59 cases where a heavy limb or a tree fell on a power line and jeopardized the strength of the power poles. Alabama Power leaders say the majority of those cases were rain-related.
Weather could be anything. It's rain, it's, the extreme weather conditions we think about, tornadoes, hurricanes, but it's wind too. Even extreme temperatures, hot, cold, all of those things people don't always think about, but they certainly affect the power lines.
Alabama Power says it has around 1 million poles in the ground around the state.
And taking you around the world, really, to Michigan. And an EF2 tornado striking Grand Blanc in Michigan on Wednesday. Take a look at this footage from the Indian Hills neighborhood in Grand Blanc. Massive trees were ripped from the roots and houses also were damaged. In Michigan, it's uncommon for tornadoes in February, making this one of Michigan's second one on record, with the last one documented in 1974. Community members say this was unprecedented.
A lot of families are just shocked because it was nothing we expected.
Never seen anything like this come through Grand Blanc.
Cleanup process continues today as residents await for power and internet to be restored. And in Bolivia, heavy rains causing deadly floods this week. This comes after the Acre River overflowed, covering houses and leaving residents scrambling to save their belongings. Rainfall in the country is at its largest levels in decades, with experts estimating that the rain will continue through March. More than 500 people have been forced from their homes. And in 30 seconds, we bring you a special pollen forecast and talk about the recent warm weather. We'll be right back. Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Believe it or not, if you felt that it was cold outside, we're a little bit cooler this time today than we were yesterday. Here's a quick look at those 24-hour temperature changes. About 5 degrees cooler in St. Clair County. A little bit warmer for areas to the east, but most of us looking a lot cooler right now than those temperatures yesterday as that front pushed through. Here is a look at those current temps. We're mainly seeing temperatures in the 40s. It's a chilly Thursday evening. As we bring in your Friday, though, more cold conditions in the forecast along with that rain. We'll be talking about that next rain chance in Wes's full forecast coming up very shortly. Lauren.
Thanks, Tania. At least not going to be as cold as it was this morning, but here's the problem. Even though we're going to be seeing a warming trend in the forecast, what we could be seeing is those pollen levels going up. Now, one thing we've got going in our favor for tomorrow, and Tania, if you want to pull up that pollen graphic behind me, it's still stuck in the morning lows. There we go. So what we're going to be seeing here in the days ahead is pollen levels gradually climbing. And even though we've got the rain tomorrow, don't let it fool you. As soon as that rain's out of here Saturday, pollen levels going right back up. And this time of the year, as we wrap up February and head into March, the pollens that are going to be the most potent are the trees. And granted, they look real pretty. We've been seeing those blooms around, some of those Bradford pears, the cherry blossoms. But another problem is because we have had a wet February, mold is also running high. So if you are a little bit more sensitive to the pollen and the mold, I would definitely make sure you're taking care of your sinuses. I know when I get home tonight, I'm going to be doing one of those sinus rinses. So make sure you irrigate everything, take care of yourself. But, you know, we're talking about pollen, and oftentimes we see the pollen coming when we transition from the colder months to the warmer months. Well, February 2024 is on track to become the hottest February on record around the globe. This comes after January was the hottest January on record. NOAA says that this month will likely follow in having the highest global average temperature ever recorded. Scientists contribute this to the warming in the eastern Pacific Ocean known as El Nino.
Heat is a substantial silent killer, I often say. And so as we see temperatures rising, we expect that the impacts of heat will be exacerbated. How they manifest locally, of course, depends on the specific weather patterns we get. There's a lot of work right now on how dry it is, can also sometimes exacerbate the heat that you see, and humidity plays a role as well.
Even though we're still a long way away from the end of the year, NOAA is predicting there is a 22% chance that 2024 will break 2023's record as the hottest year. Still ahead, we talk about this weekend's warmer weather, which, spoiler alert, comes with some pollen in the forecast, as well as take you beyond the 7-day into the first week of March. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. As we know, the drought monitor has made some significant improvements since we've first been tracking it. Of course, after that drought really kicked in across the area. Meteorologists Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson join us now with an in-depth look at how well the drought monitor has improved, how much rain we've seen this month in this report.
The Drought Monitor
Drought
is
Monitor!
back. So what do you think? Any big changes?
You know, we were a little shy with rainfall this past week, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be down a little bit.
Well, let's find out.
Dun, dun, dun! Abnormal up into northeast Alabama and southwest Alabama.
Yeah,
still a little bit of drought.
Yeah, a little bit of drought out there. So let's do a little comparison from last week to this week. So here you go, and it looks like some of that abnormally dry conditions actually developed in parts of southwest Alabama over the past week.
So instead of 16% abnormal drought, we have 29%. So we had the southwestern fray join in. So we could still use a little bit more rainfall, Matt.
That's right. 71% of the state at the moment now drought free, although it was better last week. So, you know, this is the last day of February. So where are we when it comes to those rainfall totals?
Well, let's leap into it, Matt. Birmingham received almost 5 inches of rain. So, yeah, we're, this is flipped from what we usually see. So, yeah, typically in February, we're at 4.89.
That's right. Normally we'll see over 5 inches of rain in Tuscaloosa. Picked up just about that amount and a little bit below average in Anniston with almost 4 inches of rain, but normally we would pick up about 5 inches.
Gotcha.
So not too bad.
Yep.
We'll take that.
Not too
At
shabby.
least it wasn't super dry or extremely wet like January was. And just to give you a perspective, now that we're going into the month of March, it's actually the wettest month of the year.
We're going to spring right into it there, Matt, with 5.66 inches is what we typically see in March. So we're on track to see that too.
That is right, and we're going to be waking up tomorrow with rain, so it's going to be pretty wet across the southeast. There's a look at the projections for rainfall over the next 7 days. This obviously could still change as we get the latest information for next week, but look at the southeast. Looks really wet. You see those yellow colors? 2 to 3 inches looking likely over the next 7 days.
It very well could be for our next drought monitor next Thursday. We could be drought free.
Yeah, pretty sure that abnormally dry conditions probably go away. So stay tuned. We'll have more updates on the drought monitor.
Drought monitor, drought monitor, drought monitor.
All right, a lot of rain on the way for tonight and tomorrow, so that's certainly going to help that drought situation across Alabama. Right now, a live look from Appalachian School here on Straight Mountain. We're at 44 degrees, First Alert Sky Vision here in Blount County. It is cold all across our area. Jacket weather, Hamilton's 44 degrees, Tuscaloosa 48, Birmingham 48, Anniston 49, Gadsden there 49, all the way to Clanton and Rockford, and temperatures stay in the 40s. You can see a little bit of rain there, some areas to the north. Some of this may be struggling to reach the ground, but there are some showers out there. There's going to be a lot more rain coming up later on tonight. Again, taking a look at that forecast radar data, you can see 4 a.m. a good coverage, and look at these temperatures, low 40s and upper 30s perhaps in some areas to the north with rain. A cold, rainy, soggy setup to the day. Winds out of the east-southeast, and plan for wet roads. Give yourself some extra drive time again early tomorrow morning and really throughout the day tomorrow, because there's going to be a lot of rain out and about, and it looks like by 1 o'clock we'll start to catch a few breaks out there, but still some off and on showers during the afternoon. I certainly wouldn't leave the house without the umbrella. Might get a thunderstorm out of this. I'm not expecting any major risk for severe weather, just mostly a cold rain, and again a few rumbles out there happening. There's going to be some leftover showers tomorrow night. I'm concerned we could see some dense fog in some areas late tomorrow night and early Saturday as that milder air starts to move in, and also after all that rainfall that we're going to deal with. And the temperatures, you can see by early Saturday morning, it's actually going to warm up there as we go into the afternoon, into the evening, and stay in the 50s for a lot of areas right on through Saturday morning. And look at this, Saturday around 11 a.m. showing up to 57 there at Tuscaloosa, 58 in Centerville. Let's take it on out to 5 o'clock and look at these temperatures, close to 70 degrees in some areas. Might get an isolated shower early in the day Saturday. Rest of the day is just mainly some clouds, but feeling milder again, so the temperatures are about to head the other way. I know it's cold right now. You'll need that jacket, but this weekend we'll have some of those more comfy afternoons coming up. And at least Saturday doesn't look like a total washout. You can see again Saturday just a few showers maybe early in the day left over. So there's going to be some clouds around Saturday and into Sunday. Sunday we could see a few scattered showers, but what we're watching as far as the next big increase in rain is going to start happening around Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. In this active flow pattern, we have another disturbance that's going to move through here, and you can see by Tuesday we're looking at a good chance of rain. A few storms will be possible with this. Some locally heavy rainfall certainly not out of the question, and once this moves through, there may be a following wave of rain that comes in for Wednesday of next week. So that's why when you look at our 7-day forecast, I've got that rain there Monday into Tuesday, but also Wednesday. I know it says 30%, but we may be increasing that. There could be a good coverage of rain showers and storms on Wednesday, and then you can see around Thursday and Friday of next week, we have the first alert for storms coming back as well. And really need to watch late next week some of the data in the long range suggesting that we might see a severe risk try to set up there later on in the week. It's still soon and a lot can change. And as we talk more about the first alert weather calendar, and Tania, I'll let you dive into this, but what we're really seeing there is off and on rain chances. I know it looks like a lot on the calendar, but check the weather app because there will be times when we do catch some breaks there throughout next week.
Absolutely. And this weekend is a perfect example of the opportunity to catch some breaks. We will see rain throughout your Saturday and your Sunday, but we're not talking about rain the entire day. And that's going to be the story over the next several days. Just because it's a rain chance doesn't mean that you're going to have soaking rain for the whole 24 hours of the day, okay? So here we are looking at our next chance for rain, mainly Friday. Our next chance to see more widespread activity, at least for the first half of Friday. Wes just talked about that. We're a little bit drier for the weekend, but still the chance to see some scattered showers. Next week, we've got rain and possible thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and even Thursday. And Wes was talking about the end of next week and into next weekend, the first full week of March 8th and March 9th. Well, we can see the chance for a possible severe storm. We have some models hinting at there being a little bit more instability in the atmosphere, so we'll keep giving you updates on that. But looking beyond next week and into the following week, March the 11th, some rain in the forecast, and then March 12th, 13th, and 14th, we finally look at a chance to see some drier conditions in our forecast. Now, like Wes was saying earlier, this is still several days out by the time we get to that third week of March. So keep checking in for forecast updates because things can and possibly will change. I want to switch gears here to just quickly show you what we are watching as far as how much rain, not really how much, but are we going to see above average or below average? Here's our 8 to 14 day rainfall outlook, March 8th through the 14th, and majority of the United States are going to see more rain than usual at this time of year. And that includes us here across central Alabama. Now, what about those temperatures? Taking you beyond the 7-day between March 8th through March 14th as well. Notice that our average high is in the low 60s and our average low is in the 40s. But for us here at home, we can see above average temperatures as well. So lots happening, lots of rain in the forecast over the next week or so. So be sure to keep checking in for forecast updates, but don't go anywhere just yet. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra after the break. Now I know I changed that.
All right, get ready for some rainy weather tonight.
It's coming, y'all. So get some good sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have updates on rain